Hello and welcome. Welcome back to the Divine Alignment. My name is Edward Pike. If you don't know me, I'm the creator of the Divine Alignment. And I help people reach their spiritual, physical and creative potential so that they can flourish in their life and in their work. So I'm going to touch on today the importance of our physical training, especially as perhaps more sensitive, empathic, creative, curious souls, the importance of actually dedicating time and practice to our physicality. So I'm going to share 3 first points about it, and then I'll also share some hows, some easy steps that you can start taking now. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos down the line about this, about food, about movement, including some workouts. So this is just kind of a taster, it's just an overview, and it's some information that I hope will help you think about it a bit more, maybe perhaps move you towards taking some action. So I'll start by sharing a bit of my own experience with this, because that's really how I'm arriving at this. In the past few years, even though I was a personal trainer, I discovered the gym when I was 18 at university and started to really enjoy it and really love pushing my body and seeing it grow and seeing it change. And I moved into personal training when I was in London. I had clients working in one of the best gyms in London, enjoying it. But that something didn't feel completely right. I noticed in myself, I noticed in my clients, this tendency to yo-yo a lot. This tendency to kind of, be healthy for a while and stop completely. And including in myself. And when I found the kind of more spiritual, intuitive path, I started to slowly let go of the personal training side, of the gym, of bodybuilding, of the stuff that I was really enjoying at the time. And I actually really judged it, and I caught myself really judging that world to be very superficial and lacking what I was excited about at the time, which was depth and spirituality and meaning and purpose. But in the past few months of really following my excitement, of really following my human design, my design, I'm following what lights me up. I've been going back a lot more to the gym. I've been training, I've been structuring my life and really refocusing on what I love. And I can tell you the change has been absolutely amazing. I feel like I've come back to myself. I feel like I've come home to something, which is, of course, it's the gym. I like the gym environment. It's the structure that I get from it. It's the focus on my eating, on my intake of food, what I'm taking in, my nutrition, my physical exercise. But it's more than that. It's also coming home to something deeper. So we'll go into that in a moment. And this is why I'm really discovering how important it is, and not just important, how crucial it is for us who want to be out there doing good in the world, who are what I would call light warriors, spiritual beings here to actually create positive change and impact the world in the way that we're here to do so. If we want to really show up in our power, we need to be in our bodies, and we need to be looking after our physicalities. For us that have an ease of connecting with the spiritual realms, at the same time, the challenge then is staying in the body and being in our bodies. But when we do bring these two together, we create magic, and that's when we can really step into our creative potential, our leadership, and our service, if you want. So the first key that's super important, and why physical training is super important, is because it brings you back to a sense of solidity into your body, into a sense of being real. As I said before, it's easy to be kind of floaty in the spiritual realms and dimensions and our guidance and our intuition, and it's easy to be a bit kind of feeling a bit intangible, because it is intangible, it's invisible, it's unseen, it's things that we feel, it's energy, it's consciousness, and so it's not as tangible as the physical. So when we practice our training, when we focus on our physical training, our fitness, our embodiment, all of these ways to come back into our being, and when we do that, we come home. We really come home, and that's my experience these days, even more, even deeper home in this profound energy, in this profound light and this force that wants to get out and play and create in a way that's a lot deeper and a lot more energized and alive than before. When you do that, this is the second key, you come into this alignment. You become this bridge between heaven and earth. But we're talking about that quite a lot, being the bridge between heaven and earth. We are the bridge between heaven and earth. What does that mean? That means being in our cosmic nature, yes, our spirituality, our guidance, our essence, but also being profoundly here of the body, of the earth. And that's what happens when we focus on our physical training. Ross Edgley, you might have heard of him, he's the athlete adventurer who swam around Great Britain. And in his book, The Art of Resilience, he talks about our genetic potential. He talks about training, physical training, fitness, specifically fitness training, as a way, and strength training, to release our genetic potential. And that's the power that we have, that's the hidden power that we have. We have this spiritual potential, becoming more of the love that we are, becoming more of the wisdom that we are, becoming more of our essence, becoming more of our divine perfection. But there's also this genetic and physical potential that wants to be unleashed in you. That's in your cells, in your DNA, in your muscles, in your blood, in your joints, that just wants to and be immersed, be given a space to emerge. But in order to do that, we have to give some focus to our fitness and our physical training. We have to. But then we step into that alignment, and that's the second key. This is a foundation from which you can then expand, you can then go from, you can feel here, you can feel present. Now the structure depends, what structure you create depends on each individual. We all are completely unique, completely designed differently. Someone might love bodybuilding, someone might love dancing, someone might love yoga or gymnastics or swimming. It really doesn't matter. But when you find a foundation of strength, stamina, mobility, regardless of how you find it, you start to unleash this genetic potential. You start to release it, and you start to kind of expand from there. You build trust in this container, this beautiful container that is your body. You begin to hold more life force, more energy, more consciousness. And from there, you flourish. From there, you flourish. This energy expands from you. It expands from you. You start to magnetize in your life the things that you most need, that you most desire, that you most want. You start to be the health, the beauty, the love, the power that you are. Not just the spiritual love, beauty and power, but the physical that's here inside your cells, just ready to be unleashed and to be shared with the world. So now just some simple hows, some simple first steps for you to start to deepen your relationship with your physicality, to explore your fitness, explore your movement, explore your genetic and your physical potential. So the first thing that's super important is to find what works for you. Now, this will not happen in one go. It's about really playing with different things, different structures, different routines, different practices, different modalities that you may or may not enjoy. It's about trying lots of different things. You can start to find what really works for you, where you feel most alive and most wow when you do it. That's the most important thing, that you come back from the hour session of whatever you're doing and you just feel amazing. That's super important to find first, and that will take time. It takes time to find that in your training, it takes time to find that in your eating. It's about playing with it, experimenting, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work even, and making changes along the way. You'll be constantly changing, making tweaks, adjusting, because you are life and you're constantly moving. Your body will have different needs for different things at different times. But that's super important to know what works for you. Something you can think about here are, what are the things that you value the most? Okay, for example, I really value being strong and having a strong body where I can squat, I can deadlift, I can lift, I can pull up. That I really value. But I also, at the same time, need to feel mobile. I need to be able to dance my socks off. I need to be able to move in a way that's free and flowing. So those two things, for example, are super important to me. So find what works for you. That's the first step, and that is a continuous exploration. But just open up to that sense of curiosity about what is it that could make your body come alive. Second thing is, and this part of this might contradict what I've just said, is creating a structure that works for you. So, of course, structure for your food is super important. You might look at intermittent fasting, you might look at the times that you're eating, you might look at the macros, the protein, the carbs, the fat that you're taking in. You might look at going plant-based, you might look at, going vegetarian or whatever. It's really about what will help you is to start to, again, form a structure around this. Also around your training, what times are you going to go to the gym or to do whatever you want to do? How many times a week? How's your eating going to fit around that? These are all super important things. For example, I'll give you an example in my life here. I don't have a morning practice that I do every single day. That's never ever worked for me. I wake up and I just do what feels right. I walk the dogs, go to the beach, do some yoga, meditate, write, work, whatever comes in the moment. But what I do really need, and I'm really realizing this recently, is I need structure throughout my day around my timings for my exercise and my gym and my training and my eating throughout the day. If I have that in place, I am like a happy, satisfied bunny. So it's about really finding the structure that works for you. For you, it might not be having this regularity in your training. It might be something else that works for you. So again, it's best to keep it super open at the beginning, explore different things and play with different things until you really find the thing that works for your life, for your schedule, and for your body. And then the third point in the how is just to start. It would be super easy to take so long researching, reading, trying to figure out the best structure, the best plan, but I really invite you to do the opposite, to just start. Start with a class a week of something that you enjoy. To start with just putting your shoes on, walking out of the house. Maybe part of that walk will also become a bit of a run, great. Start to maybe just try to do some press-ups at home, some squats at home. Just start. Okay, that just builds the foundation, that just builds that commitment and that energy for you to eventually start to do more and more and more of what your body loves, of what of course might feel challenging at times, that's for sure. Sometimes it is challenging, sometimes the mind doesn't want to do it, but those are often the times, the workouts that are actually the most rewarding. So just start. What are the things, and maybe have a think even today, what are the things that you could just start with doing now? Can you start with a food diary for a week or two just to look at, to be really real with what you're taking in, with what you're eating? Could you just start by, as I said before, committing to one thing a week, committing to a class a week? And over time, gradually, you change it, you tweak it, and you build it up until it's something that feels alive and juicy, and until it's something that, in my experience, you can't go without. Your body just craves it and craves it. Thank you for watching this video today. It's a pleasure to have you here on this channel. Please like, please comment, please subscribe, please share the love. And if you want to go deeper into this, please go to thedivinealignment.be where there's more resources, more information, and you can also book some time with myself to get a sense of where you are, what you might need, and how we can start to implement this together into your life so that you also can come into your divine alignment and flourish.